Have you ever noticed something weird about Persona fans? There are lots of Persona games, most of their mainline being Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5. But Persona fans don't just like the games, they also like the merch. And most importantly, being plushies. So today I want to ask a simple question. Why is the Persona fandom so obsessed with plushies, and why does Atlas market it so hard? Like, they can market figures and other merchandises. Why just plushies? Now, a lot of you might say that plushies sell more, that's why they are marketed hard by Atlas. That is not any X factor, not your Persona. And I would say you're wrong. Here's why. Persona's plush culture means fans hunting down limited plushies, paying insane resale prices, posing them in daily life photos, and sometimes valuing them more than figures. Atlas repeatedly chooses mascot-friendly characters like Morgana, Teddy, Koromaru, and Jack Frost, and pushes them harder than most confidants or characters in the game. Why? You would ask why? Because plushies do something that posters and figures don't. Plushies basically feel more alive, and that's why this is a huge marketing tactic for Atlas to milk the plushies so hard. So Persona games are generally very long, whether it be through Persona 3's dark themes to Persona 5's average school life. Hence, most of these games average 90 to 120 hours for a single playthrough. That's longer than most TV series. You don't just watch the characters grow, you bond with them. So the idea of a plush is not just a toy. It does something powerful. It turns an emotional bond into a physical object. You can hold it, put it near you, and carry it around. In Japanese culture, this is very normal. They believe in mascots are emotional anchors, oshikatsu, a well-documented concept which means supporting your favorite character, where people spend money and goods tied to concepts and characters they love. It's not just owning a plush, it's about identity. Displaying plushies resembles their personality and the love for their characters, even if it's Adachi. Yeah. Now, plushies become a common ground for fans. They spark discussion, trade, and show-offs. Some fans knit custom plushes, make dioramas, or craft scenes with their toys, a form of participatory culture. But here's a huge problem. Plushes are mostly exclusive and region-specific. Many official plush releases are Japan-centric, which causes the frustration amongst fans in South Asia, Europe, North America, and many other continents that struggle to access them without importing or paying resale prices, which many companies and brands also capitalize, like eBay and secondary markets often list rare plushies at high prices due to limited supply and demand from the international fans. This dynamic leads to critiques often criticize Atlas for their inconsistent marketing tactics, henceforth the fans get frustrated. However, plushies were Atlas's biggest genius. Let me tell you why. They might look simple toys, but they are strategic in several ways. Number one, plushies keep franchise visible outside of the game releases. They act as daily reminders of the series. Number two, unlike one-time purchases, plush merchandises drives ongoing spending. Fans collect character sets over multiple years and titles. Number three, because this aligns with oshikatsu behavior, the plushes tap into a wider Japanese fandom trend. That's proven to drive durable spending, a 3.5 trillion yen market as of 2025. That's crazy. In related to fan goods in Japan alone. Even though distribution is regional, social media spreads visuals of plushies worldwide. A fan photo of Morgana plush still promotes Persona globally, and that comes with insane marketing value. Plush culture around Persona is a social phenomenon, not just merchandise. It connects players emotionally and socially long after the credits roll. Now, if I'm being critical about the plush culture, we have to address one specific thing it brings along with it. Because at the end of the day, Persona plush conversation hits the same word: obsession. Not interest, not attachment, pure obsession. Now let me tell you why this is actually very serious. People treat plushies as sleep anchors. No, not just average body pillows, and Persona franchise is no different. Otherwise, fans openly commit they sleep with the plushies and other merchandise. Now you might argue that not your Persona, this is not that serious. Bro, they are just sleeping with plushies, bro. It becomes serious when it becomes an obsession, right? And nobody points it out unless it's serious. Because obsession implies lack of control, emotional dependency, something you're supposed to grow out of and not feed it. Well, that's what people just do the opposite. Now, why do people use this term obsession to describe this phenomenon? They use it because the phenomenon is not easy to explain, and it does not project their own, as no self-reflection unless you're a Plush fan too. And it may look or sound so personal, but it's the same reason when people say you talk to yourself. The issue is not that it's happening, it is that it's visible. Persona Plush fans don't hide the attachment, and that's what makes it so uncomfortable. Here's the uncomfortable thing about the term obsession, that Persona fans think that it's totally okay whenever they feel insecure. They have to cling to that fictional character or a doll and rely over them, which sounds totally normal, right? Yeah, but to them, it's that uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to reciprocate is that it is indeed an obsession. Because if it's not an obsession with the character or the continuity of the franchise, the cause is not that. The cause is emotional stability and a sense of presence that does not disappear. Which may sound dramatic until you hit the self-realization where you understand what people are doing without realizing what they are actually doing. And those who even understand that say, okay, this is unhealthy and crosses the line. I need to change. But they don't apply their sentiments to their daily life and get stuck in the same loophole they are supposedly to escape. Persona Plushes cross an unspoken invisible line. They make the emotional function too obvious. And Persona fandom hits this way functionally and collectively than any other fandom. Let me elucidate it to you. Persona fans don't just buy one plush. Some post entire shelves of them online and talk about their rare pieces with real sentiment. Fans publicly lament that they can't track down the full set of plushies because watching limited items sell out or become expensive on secondary markets. If you spend 5 minutes in the Persona subreddit, it becomes obvious. Fans don't just collect plush here and there. People post entire collections, talk about how hard it is to find certain plushies, and actively ask the community where to get them. These are not passive purchases. They are very emotional investments that people share publicly. Why Persona hits so hard for this to happen dialectically? I've been telling you why Persona hits different. Now let me tell you why. It's because let's take the example of some popular Persona games. Persona 3's premise is fighting death, friendship, and symbolism. Persona 4's focus is bonding with people, finding true self of yours, and understanding the truth and accepting the causes it comes with. Persona 5's premise is fighting the corrupt and the corrupted for a better world. Sounds too political, right? And this is where the projection theory hits harder. All these nuances complete a heroic sense of security, which makes the player who plays these games feel emotionally way hooked because of its narrative richness. That the softness of the characters make fans incredibly attracted towards them. And eventually, this dilemma causes the marketing of subtle Persona plushes that work like an anchor. So what I'm trying to say is, owning a plushie or sleeping with it is not just obsession. In fact, it is actually really good, but losing emotional ground over fictional characters and becoming too hyper-fixated on them is indeed an obsession.